Welcome back, everyone. I'm the Bad Luck Gamer, and today we got a very interesting archetype, one that I think, honestly, I don't have the fullest grasp on how useful it is, but it is still an amazing archetype nonetheless. Today we're going to be talking about the Beastmaster and the horde of animal companions that the Beastmaster can control. It's going to be a very exciting video, but before we get to that, I'm sure you know this tick by now. If you like the video, please like. If you want to see more of this content, subscribe. And if you want to hear about all the crazy things we have coming up next week, including giveaways and guest appearances, check us out down in the description below. There will be a link to the Discord where we talk all things tabletop, including things like Warhammer 40k. And my Twitter, where I talk about literally everything that is going on with the channel and is a little bit less committal than going to the Discord. In any regard, I hope you all enjoy this video and tag along, because every like, every subscribe, every comment really helps. And the channel is growing really fast, and it's all thanks to you guys. And I just wanted to say thank you. And I couldn't do this without you. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the Beastmaster dedication. So to become a Beastmaster, you just need to be trained in nature, which is not that hard, honestly. In fact, you can do that starting out the gate pretty easy. And being a Beastmaster gives you a young animal companion, which is honestly a really good benefit to get from your archetype. Getting an animal companions are your character's level. Granted, whether they're a young, mature, or nimble, savage, specialized companion obviously gives them more. They're not going to be a full character, but they're more than half a character in what they can provide to, any combat or any even non-combat situation. And in fact, the Beastmaster, I would say, is not actually a very combat-orientated archetype, but instead is a lot more based in utility. And this is for the fact that the Beastmaster archetype dedication gives you an extra animal companion if you already have one, and gives you a limit of 4 animal companions. There's a feat a little bit later on that will give you more animal companions. But if you already have an animal companion, you can get a second one using this dedication. It also goes into some of the rules that talk about if you get focus spells, you become trained in the primal tradition, and you become trained in spell attack rolls and DCs, and you use charisma as your modifier for them. That isn't super relevant to any of the Beastmaster spells, but that is more or less what it is talking about. You also get access to a new skill if you have an animal companion already, because unfortunately you can't have more than one animal companion with you at any one time. The other one is off doing animal things in the nearby vicinity, and you get the, I believe it's called Call Companion. Yeah, Call Companion Exploration Activity, which means it cannot be done in combat. Not that you would, because it takes a minute to do, but it allows you to swap out your animal companions. And this is where the Beastmaster really starts becoming a big thing, because this allows you to get animal companions for different kind of situations. Need to sneak up on an enemy, you can call your large cat companion. Need a big tanky brawler-esque companion to handle a very tough fight, call in the bear companion. Need a scout, call in the, your eagle companion. Whatever it is, the Beastmaster is a really strong dedication in the fact that they are very capable of having a large utility through the beasts they have in their command. Now, we're going to go over some of their feats, and I think it'll become more and more clear to everyone how much utility the Beastmaster actually provides. Right up after the dedication, we get the additional animal companion feat, and this one can be taken multiple times until you get that max of 4, and that max is including if you started with an animal companion. Though if you didn't, you still can get 4, but it does count any initial animal companions into the count. So this is definitely where you're going to get your extra animal companions, and you can fill out your retinue, as it were. Heal Animal is just a really good... It's a focus spell that you can pick up, and I believe Druid has... It essentially allows you to use the 1 or 2 action heal spell on an animal companion as a focus spell. It's pretty good overall, and because it is a focus spell, it automatically heightens with your level. So essentially you get the same benefits as essentially being a cleric, just in a little bit more limited of a fashion. And of course you can only heal your animal companions. But this is really good, especially if you're swapping your animal companions out that get a little too injured. You might have a lot of hit points you gotta restore at the end of the day, and this is a really good way to help with that. Magic Hide is the Ranger Warden spell variant that you get to use as a Beastmaster. It's a really good one. It gives your animal companions a +1, well, it gives a animal companion a +1 AC status bonus for a minute, which is solid overall if you're planning on having your animal companions participate in combat. This is going to be pretty good overall, and especially if you have an animal companion that's already really defensive, this one will make them even harder to hit, which is a very big boon in combat for sure. Mature Beastmaster companion upgrades all your companions, all companions you have and will get if you decide to pick up more along the way, become mature animal companions, which boosts their stats. I'm not going to go into all what that actually does for them here. If you know animal companions, or you can always go on and look, it just makes them better, makes them have better 2 hits, more HP, better skills, all that kind of stuff. It's an overall boon, and the fact that it applies to all your animal companions means it's not a huge feat tax, even if you have 4 companions maxed. Wild Empathy is definitely one of the more utility-based feats. Not one of my favorites particularly, but this is a very flavorful and potentially very useful feat. Essentially what it does, it allows you to use your diplomacy when you try to... what's it called? I have it right here. Diplomacy to make an impression on an animal rather than nature. And you can also... They also understand simple requests that you can make of them. This essentially just makes it easier for you to, associate with and contact animals. And this can be helpful in a large myriad of ways, but this is definitely up to the player's creativity to get the most benefit out of this. Regardless, this one fits the Beastmaster to a T. They can almost talk to creatures in a way. And overall, pretty solid. I actually really like this one, just for the fact that, if anything, it adds a lot of flavor to your character. Beastmaster's Trance is the first and maybe only, actually I don't remember. We may come up to it, but it might be the only focus spell only belonging to the Beastmaster themselves. This is a very interesting focus spell. It has a range of 1 mile, and essentially you project your senses into your animal companion, and you can sustain the spell up for a minute, and you use your own perception checks, though you do get the benefit of any unique senses that your animal companion has. This is really good if you have a flying eagle animal companion, if you want to get an overall view of the area from a, bird's eye perspective. Not only that, but if any of your animal companions ever get captured for whatever reason, you can use this to see their immediate surroundings to help maybe navigate where they might be located. And I almost said sus, and I had to say it because it would have exploded for me otherwise. Anyway, it's a really good focus spell, honestly. This has a lot of utility. It can be used in a lot of ways. If you have animal companions with dark vision, you can use this to scout, especially if you have like a cat style animal companion. And not only that, but let me double check real quick here. So it can be heightened when you hit 6th level spellcasting, which is level 11, or 8th level spellcasting, which is level 15. At level 11, this gets to 100-mile range, and you can sustain it up to 10 minutes. Your animal companion can also hear you. I guess it couldn't hear you before, so it could only go based on whatever command you gave it before. But now it can listen to your commands, making this even better for scouting, even better if you needed to check out on things particularly. And once you get to the 8th heightened level, you can sustain it up to an hour, and you can telepathically communicate to your creature no matter where they are for the duration of the trance. And so, let's see, allowing you to, weird. I don't know, it says telepathically and the first one doesn't. So I don't know, maybe your animal like projects your voice a little bit when with the 6th level version. That's very interesting. I don't know. And I forgot to mention, but the 8th level version has planetary range, which I don't think that would ever be useful, but maybe it could be. Who knows? At that level, who knows what your campaign is about. It's a very interesting focus spell overall. This has so much utility, and there's so many different ways this can be used. I really, really like this feat in particular. Companion's Cry is an interesting feat. Essentially, what it allows you to do is you can spend an additional action commanding your animal companion, so 2 actions, to give them 1 more action. Now, there's a little bit loss of utility. Your animal companion's actions are never quite equivalent to one of your characters, just in what capabilities you may have. But there might be a situation where your animal companion needs to do something else. If we're talking about the last focus spell where you could, command your animal companion from anywhere, this could help if a combat situation kind of breaks out. It gets a little weird at that point, and this is also, for those who don't know, animal companions can only have 2 actions max on your turn, and you have to use the command an animal action to give them those 2 actions. You can't use command an animal more than once. They only have that maximum of 2 because your animal companions count as minions. Check the minion trait for more information. In any regard, this allows you to break that rule by giving them an extra action at the cost of one of your own. Now, if you have a flying animal companion that's doing an aerial battle, I could see this being a little bit more helpful. Or if you're trying to get your animal companion into position, attack an enemy, and then set up their bonus, their support ability, that is a good use of it as well. But I think this one's a little bit more situational. Again, it has some good utility. This allows you to be very flexible with your animal companions in combat if you need them to do very specific tasks. So I think this is a really good one, but it loses some efficiency. So, either way, I think it's a good feat. Incredible Beastmaster Companion is just what the normal Incredible Animal Companion is. They become either a nimble or savage animal companion, and if you have multiple animal companions, you get to pick each of their nimble or savage, and again, getting that same efficiency. All animal companions, current and future animal companions, will be upgraded up until this point, giving them even more status bonuses to a variety of their skills and abilities. This is pretty solid. It's really, really good and really, really efficient. Not much more I can say about it, honestly. Beastmaster's Bond is a very interesting ability. It shows that your Beastmaster has some kind of supernatural connection with the bonds they make with their animal companions, allowing you to communicate with them up to 100 feet away telepathically, which means you can give them commands if you do that, because normally commands have the auditory trait. So if your animal companion ever gets out of earshot for whatever reason, this would be a way that you could bypass some of those restrictions. Not only that, but if you become legendary in nature, this gets a planetary range, which means there's nothing that can prevent you from giving your animal companions a command if you need to. I think this is really cool. And again, this kind of really reinforces some of the more utility-based actions that the Beastmaster can provide to a game. Enlarge Companion is the same as the Warden spell, so I don't really need to say much more than that. but this makes your creature huge, as if they were under the effect of the 4th level enlarge spell. It's good for a focus point. It makes your animal companion imposing, to say the least, and there's a lot of benefits that come from that massive size. So this is just a really good extra focus spell overall to add to your repertoire to make your animal companions just that much better. Beastmaster's Call is low-key a big brain feat. So what it does is, as an action, you can summon one of the spirits of your other animal companions to provide its support benefit. It appears in an available space somewhere in 30 feet of the Beastmaster, and I don't think there's any other stipulations in that. Nope. It has its normal AC and saving throw modifiers, but if it does take any damage, whatever reason, the spirit disappears and no longer provides its support benefit. With this, why this one is so big brain is because support benefits are really strong. Depending on what retinue of creatures you have available to you, you can get a lot of really good support benefits that are very situational, and you have access to all of them all the time. But not only that, if the enemies are smart, they will attack your animal spirits to prevent you from getting that benefit at the cost of one of their actions. You can use this to your advantage, though, because this is taking up enemy hits, and there's nothing that stops you from summoning the spirit on your next turn. So this is wasting enemy actions to have them prevent you from getting a bonus. And if they don't prevent you from getting a bonus, then you just get a bonus as an action, and you don't have to command an animal and have it use one of its support actions. I do believe this can only be used once per turn. Yes, once per turn is the frequency. Regardless, this is a really, really good utility feat and a really good combat feat in a lot of situations to get the kind of benefits you really want to get from your animal companions, even if they're not on the field. Side by side is the same as the Druid feat. It probably shows here on screen Druid. It's really good. Essentially, whenever you and your animal companion are adjacent to the same enemy, that enemy is considered being flanked, aka flat-footed to you, no matter what your position. So even if you corner an enemy into a situation where you normally can't flank them, you can with your animal companion. This is especially good if you're playing a Beastmaster that is a much more on the support side of combat. But this can be used in a lot of other ways as well. Getting your enemies kind of flat-footed is a huge advantage, not just for you, but for your animal companion as well. This can allow you to lay the hurt down on the enemies, and overall, this is just a very good feat. Specialized Beastmaster Companion is like all the other companion feats. It applies to all your animal companions, and you pick a specialization per companion. So this is a really solid one, and you can take this feat 3 times to give each of your animal companions 3 specializations. And again, this applies to all current and future animal companions you may decide to get. So this is overall a really good feat, and I don't know. Again, this is one of the ones that it's pretty self-explanatory. Lead the Pack is a very interesting feat, and it took me a few times reading through it to really see the benefit. So Lead the Pack allows you to have 2 animal companions out on the field at once, but you don't get any extra command animal opportunities. If you use command an animal, you can either give each of them 1 action to stride or strike. You don't even get to pick, so you can't do 2 support benefits with it. Or you allow one to get 2 actions as per normal, which means that also applies to Companion's Cry. But you can't use Companion's Cry if you're giving each of them 1 action, because it's not the standard action, and so the augment action doesn't quite apply. But if you only do it for one of your animal companions, then it applies in that situation. So, and not only that, but if you don't give either of them a command for whatever reason, one of them can still stride or strike, the same as mature animal companion. So I had to ask myself, what is the benefit of this one? Oh, I also forgot. This is an uncommon feat as well. So it's up to your GM to allow you to use this one or not, based on probably the main issue, which is this is just an extra creature on the battlefield, and it might make things harder to deal with. But taking the uncommon off to the side, I was asking myself, how is this feat really good? What this really benefits from really is honestly having more hit points on the field at a given time, and having the ability to get either of your creature support benefits in a round in a way that's a little bit more durable than if you were to summon one of them with the spirit ability. What was it called? I just saw a second ago. Beastmaster's Call. So this one gives you extra hit points on the battlefield. That's the big benefit. That's why it is set up the way it is, because you can use either animal companion in its full capacities. Granted, you have to alternate, or you use one until you decide you want to use the other one. It gives you a lot of extra bonus. It gives you another body on the field for taking blows. And not only that, it gives you a lot of benefits that just don't seem very apparent. Now, this is not damage based. The Beastmaster is not about how much damage you can do with your animal companions, and it never has been. What it has been about is having the flexibility of having a wide availability of animal companions, a wide ability to get their support benefits, unique ways to use your animal companions as scouts or as other kind of utility vehicles. And this feat as well allows you to have some extra hit points on the field and to have the flexibility that in combat you can essentially swap between two animal companions without any real loss of actions. It's a really good feat for just that reason alone. It essentially gives you another animal companion to use your command action on, that, you know, gives you more tools to handle in a combat situation. Overall, the Beastmaster is really good, and not only that, it's set up that if you're using the free archetype dedication, which everyone should because it's really cool, the Beastmaster dedication is a 2 to 20 archetype dedication. You can fill all your slots with just Beastmaster, which is really cool. It makes your character super flavorful. There's so much utility, and not only that, but if you didn't have an animal companion, having an animal companion adds to your character's combat efficiency. The Beastmaster is another top tier archetype. There's so much that's really, really good with it, narratively speaking, roleplay or utility speaking, or even combat speaking, that it's a really hard one to overlook. And I know my players especially like to look at the Beastmaster as frequently as they can. You know, if you have a player who loves having a pet, Beastmaster is absolutely perfect for it. But that's going to be it for this video. I'm so sorry this video took a little bit longer than normal. There's a lot of Beastmaster feats. You know, again, it's one of those ones I can get 2 to 20. But I hope you enjoyed. I really like this archetype dedication personally. And let me know in the comments below. Do you have any really fun animal companion combinations you've used? I really want to know the depth of the Beastmaster, because I really feel there's a lot of potential there, even if I haven't grasped all of it quite yet myself. But yeah. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Leave the bad luck to me. Have good luck with your games. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.